requests your presence in the cockpit to discuss a priority matter.
Deep-fried Sisty bits. Bet you can eat just one. Anti-Fizzo's Purpleberry Bunch. Suck it, chew it, you can do it. Anti-Fizzo's Purpleberry Crunch. The K means it's authentic. Now with 110% of your daily chemicals and preservatives.
A significant anomaly has been detected by onboard sensors. This unit has cross-checked all data points and verified the findings. Horizon Point Station has reappeared. Providing intellectual validation to this unit's queue. Priority low. Based on energy readings, Horizon Point has been reconstituted by the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator, thus confirming the Archive's theory. While present data does not indicate if Horizon Point poses an immediate threat, a survey of the reconstituted station is advised as soon as possible. Calculating. According to the Archive, closing all rifts requires locating the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator and inputting the rift data processed by the Archive. However, before navigating to Horizon Point Station, it is recommended you conclude all other affairs. Leaving will be highly unlikely due to the high levels of rift energy. That is a correct assessment, Commander. Transitioning to Good News Protocol. As this unit was corroborating data on the anomaly, a message was also received from your allies, Commander. Auntie's Choice and the Order have sent word that their forces will be prepared to render you assistance once you navigate to Horizon Point. Commanders are expected to lead their teams by example. Well done on meeting base expectations, Commander. Briefing complete. Now returning to situation monitoring and data analysis, Commander. It appears Horizon Point Station is still in the process of being reconstituted. The rift itself is also more unstable than ever. As a result, landing closer to the location of the Protectorate's large-scale rift anomaly modulator is not possible. In order to modify it with the rift data you processed in the Archive, you will need to travel to its location on foot and seize it from Protectorate control. The energy readings from the modulator can be traced to the Sovereign's flagship, Providence, hovering on the far side of the station. Hypothesizing. Given Protectorate hierarchy and the recent announcement about the Sovereign's mental refreshment, this is likely the Consul's doing. He will need to be stopped.
Is this his idea of demonstrating might? Hell of a way to do it.
Fortunately, the Providence is not equipped with exterior weaponry. If you can reach the ship, you should find no obstacles to boarding it. This unit urges moving quickly. The rift is growing dangerously unstable. Using the rift modulator on board the Providence is the only way to prevent destruction of the colony. While the Order and Auntie's Choice have sent their forces to assist you in intercepting the modulator, it will take time for them to navigate the station. It seems Agent DeVries is also here, Commander. She sent word that she, quote, knew you wouldn't be able to stay away either and is ready to finish what she started, end quote.
Oh, good. I love when more complications are added to the pile. I can handle them with ease, Commander. Just say the word.
Once the modulator is secured, it may be used to close the rift and save Arcadia and all those in its orbit. There is minimal room for error, Commander. Good luck.
This place is a nightmare beyond the most fevered delusion. And those soldiers, they do not look right. The console stands at the controls of the Sovereign's own flagship. How my blood boils.
To you, the eyes, the ears, the brains of Horizon Point Station to determine who introduced the flaw into our perfect skip drive manufacturing process.
Stepped into the world between life and death.
But none of us can do it alone. Remember, we're all in this together. The skip drive is our legacy. It is our mandate. It is who we are.
This poor boy. Someone put him back together all wrong.
I shall shoot you!
Go for torpification.
N-ray. Exposure. Underrated.
Adversary locking me. Recharging first.
At your word, I shall charge!
Mobility interrupted. Mobility interrupted.
Energy transmitter.
N-ray. Exposure. Underrated. Functioning.
This date is an affront against the architect, against the nature of all things. We must bring an end to this immediately. Let us hope that whatever architect-forsaken logic operates within this place does not fail us.
Attention! This is your anti-calling. Per our agreement, Anti's choice support ships, including the fine print, the contingency plan, and the upper hand, are headed your way. Order forces are on a similar trajectory. You've persuaded the leaders of two warring groups to help us today.
But I find
Never could have done it myself.
stifling.
And I
Let
once
us
thought I
find
could
it.
solve anything. Wasn't sure that'd work.
Torpificator is charged.
This is Augustine DeVries, formerly of the Earth Directorate. Consider this a recording for posterity. The Consul of the Protectorate is responsible for the twisted wreckage of this station. It is my hope that whatever you find here will save the rest of the galaxy from this fate. Know that I did my level best to stop him. But if you are listening, it is likely I have failed in my mission. Yet again. For that, I am sorry.
That's DeVries' ship. Good thing. We'd had a dearth of misguided fools, hadn't we? Torpificator is charged.
Medics and pharmaceutical provisions incoming. And we're right behind them with a delivery of Auntie's Choice finest supplies. Soon you'll say, that is better than nature.
Forward! Forward! Destroy these abominations! Adjusting calculations. Hold fire on our ally.
Obey your execution.
N-ray. Exposure.
Adversary vulnerable.
N-ray. Exposure. Undermining. Functioning.
You're the one who forged an alliance between
Supplies
Auntie's
and
Choice
medical
and the
attention are
Order.
available.
Commander, one of them speaking coherently. Not sure if that's good or bad.
Get away from me. See them? They were my teammates and they didn't listen neither. You'll end up just the same.
Agent Pascal, calm yourself. You are not in your right mind.
Don't you talk to me like you know me. Wait. Commander? Is that you? No. No, this must be some kind of trick. Law, what's happening to me? So it is you. Thank Law. I don't understand what happened, Commander. Something was wrong with Sandoval and Jepson. They glowed like they were aflame. They ran in, jumped at me, clawed at me. Law, I had to kill them.
Then they weren't too dissimilar from the troopers we encountered outside. This is concerning.
I don't understand what's happening. Everything was fine. Till the explosion. I was pinned. Fire closed in. I tried to move. I tried to find the rookie. Then the whole station shook and tore apart. And then... nothing.
That explains it. She was left alive, just long enough for the rift to take her. That's why the reconstitution worked on her. To some extent.
Wait. There was something else. Sandoval was yelling. DeVries wasn't responding to comms. What happened? Don't tell me the situation got too fluid for you, DeVries. That it?
Certainly not. I was focused on the objective, as every one of your crew should have been. Isn't that right, Commander?
Yeah. Something tells me that ain't quite true. A rift? That's right. We were here to investigate rifts. So why is there one in the sky? Why is everything destroyed? What's happening to me? And Sandoval? Jepson?
The Protectorate are attempting to reconstitute the station to how it was moments before destruction. That includes you. But it's failing. I'm sorry.
So I've come back from death to some warped version of life? All because of some twisted experiment? Is that about right? You can help me though. Right, Commander? You can do something to fix this. How much time? With the way I'm bleeding out, I ain't sure how long I can hold on. Then go bring the fight to those bastards. I'll do my best to hold on.
Pascal? Helen? I can stay with you for a moment, if you'd like. Might help with the wait for the commander.
Yeah, all right. Maybe you can patch me up some if things take a turn. Hurry back, huh? I'll keep the porch light on.
Law! These soldiers look even more hideous than our grafting experiments.
You with Auntie? We
Hold
brought
clear.
supplies. We're here to help.
You may approach, Commander. We've got supplies at the ready.
Initial observations conclude that this... Just as I predicted. You appear to have suffered some trauma. Sometimes my own accuracy troubles me so. Any treatments or supplies you may require are complimentary at the request of our presiding bishop. May the numbers... Initial observations conclude that the subject is suffering
In what
from
particular way are you
ailments.
dead? Step, I say usually, because Auntie has declared sure can. Fair.
Initial observations conclude that the subject does not possess major ailments.
the Sovereign's ship up close. I believe we can safely assume he's not on it, or on that rover approaching the skip lab.
Torpificator at ready status.
Reconstituted mechs still function. How inconvenient.
I've eyes on a miscreant.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
NREG. Exposure vector. NREG. Exposure.
I have a fix on their...
It would appear we face down a more fearsome foe than ever before. Pure mathematics.
Congratulations, we have successfully cracked a difficult equation. Now we only need return to the terminal and input it.
Orders. I can't hear. Orders.
This is Scientist Bernard Rand, sent to Horizon Point Station by order of the Consul.
Another obstacle on our path
overcome.
Good work.
Readings in the old skip lab. The core appears to be pulling plasma tightly around it, not unlike a planet and its moons. Fascinating, though it thwarts my attempts to gather more data. Fortuitously, in searching the remains of the lab, I found an equation that could manipulate the core just enough to clear the chamber. My way to professional acclaim. Let this be a record of Protectorate ingenuity. Bernard Rand, the man who marched fearlessly into chaos and tamed it.
Somehow, I expect Rand's theories evaporate when put into practice. Much like Rand himself. Perhaps we can still...
Free thinkers!
Must be the Sovereign's office. Well, there's the equation, even if the place looks like an adult playpen. Plagiarism. How shameful. Yet not entirely unexpected.
Observations in the laboratory. Our projections are off by orders of magnitude.
I shall reduce them to a slurry!
Back and scan.
Cannot doubt. If we do not take that rover to the Providence, Arcadia
Stun
may be
weapon ready,
consumed by
Commander.
these rifts.
Attention. Please report to intake
Free of
for
undue
processing.
kerfuffle. Now to unseal that hangar.
Attention, crew deck. Intruder alert. Be vigilant.
Never hurts to give the enemy more targets to shoot at, I suppose. Standing by to simplify. It is a privilege to die for the fix on
Agitators!
Check your...
I must expend on these fools!
My favorite morally gray contractor. Join me. We have important business to discuss. Come, quickly now. Glad glad you finally jimmied that open. Things are getting appreciably worse out there. We're running out of time to seize the rift and force it into corporeal insolvency. The presiding bishop wished for me to relay a message to you. Why she couldn't send her own courier, I couldn't say, but I'll attempt to simplify. The rift modulator is on the science deck, 1 floor up. Deck access is restricted without proper credentials. Imagine that twice as long and in the form of a distance problem. That means, of course, you'll either need to pilfer an access card, swindle some daft sod out of it, or find some other way around the deck restrictions. Well, I shouldn't know. Perhaps search the pockets of those you've killed, Or find an air duct to shimmy through, or a staircase to climb? Any more troops in here, they'd be tripping over one another. Don't you worry. These are the best paid closers in my fleet, and worth every bit. We'll hold here to ensure you aren't flanked by reinforcements as you delve deeper in. Don't fritter away your lives cheaply now. I've made a significant investment in you.
Clocking in.
At your word.
Activating energy transmitter. Combatant scan.
Contact lost.
Escape.
Executing viscerally.
This unit, please make a request. If you please make a request. This ship is only for authorized Protectorate subjects. If you are not a Protectorate subject, please purchase a weapon from this unit, and subjects are expected to pay for any supplies beyond standard issue. Monthly munition supplies should be quite sufficient for training purposes. In case of enemy attack, subject is expected to kill invaders efficiently enough not to require additional resources.
What's going on down there, Deck 01? I saw an intruder alert. Acknowledged. This intercom is to be used for emergencies only. Misuse of this intercom will result in prompt arrest and correction of the perpetrator. Now, how can I assist you, Deck 01? Again? I shall send her down right away. But this is becoming a daily occurrence, and I will see such slothfulness reflected on her record. Exactly right. Think I enjoy sitting here, fielding inane requests day after day? But I remind you that gossip is strictly prohibited over this channel. Over and out.
Impressive, Commander. I suppose it's too much to hope the rift modulator shall possess a similar override.
We either find access credentials or stick to the shadows then. Both options are certainly more efficient than raucous hostilities.
If we choose to keep from arbitrating the local scientists, we may be able to gather information on where the console's modulator is stationed.
Are you actually authorized? Whatever you... Are you actually authorized? Be wary. I've heard there's an intruder aboard. Ah, I suppose that could be you. Forgive me. I'm still a little addled from my last refreshment. I'm going to set off an alarm, okay? You've been reviewing our experiments. I hope I'm not being replaced. I specifically went to mental refreshment to avoid that. If you wish to see the modulator, you'll want to speak with Chief Scientist Montserrat. He's in the rift chamber. Take these credentials with you, in case you're asked. Security's become awfully stringent of late. It wouldn't do to be caught unawares. That's why I carried 2 cards, just in case. Oh, though I suppose it's just the one now.
I am no scientician, yet I can see the sheer arrogance in this display. Reconstitution cannot work. It must not be allowed to work. Look at the size of the rift modulator. Seems we shan't be using it. Not without commandeering the whole of the ship. Let us see what we can unearth regarding it.
I was notified that you were here, though my fellow scientists seemed rather confused as to why. Unsurprisingly. What exactly was it that you needed? I'm rather short on time, as a gander outside might tell you. Yeah, well, we all have urgent needs. And mine is to keep my lab and hopefully the rest of this system from falling apart. I need the modulator for my own analysis. You can wait. The IRC. I did not realize you were a colleague of sorts. We haven't shared much of our findings with your branch, I'm afraid. But our results do match. Raw data from whatever a rift engulfs is preserved, yes, but the essence of a thing is not. Like a sense of self, for example, is lost forever. Further, there is no proof that such data can be stabilized or even edited. The consul's plan is futile, completely. But he no longer listens to me, which is distressing. I've prepared a report for him showing how the very structure of the modulator makes what we're attempting impossible. But I doubt he will pay it much mind. Yes, but as I said, I fear the report won't do any good. It's clear you aren't bound by the same rules as the rest of us somehow. If he won't hear me out, perhaps a third party will have more luck. Here, use this keycard on the module over there. It will allow you to download my report and grant you access to the control deck. I hope you're able to sway him, because if you don't, we're all dead. A deck up in the control room. The console is the only one who has the means of controlling it, which makes your persuading him that much more necessary. Go now.
Authorized visitor aboard. Do not be alarmed.
Accessing report. Rift restoration analysis. Compiled by Chief Scientist Monserrate. Marked for delivery to Consul Thoreau.
Esteemed Consul, after much analysis, my conclusion is that the modulator we have worked tirelessly to build will not function as intended when used for reconstituting matter from rifts. Every test of reconstitution has resulted in demonstrable failure. Proceeding as we are now with Horizon Point Station will surely lead to severe, unanticipated consequences. The modulator is only effective at closing rifts from unsafe distances. Using it to close exacerbated rifts will certainly lead to the destruction of any vessel carrying it. Unfortunately, the data that we originally had hoped for from the ancient rifts detected in the far reaches of space untouched by humanity has not yielded any of its secrets. And we are now out of time. All of our recent readings suggest that we're on the verge of losing control of this rift. I recommend diverting from our current plan before it is too late for Arcadia. I've included extensive notes and annotations appended to the modulator schematics to substantiate these conclusions. I know you will guide us wisely, my dear Consul.
The rifts have spawned through our unknown reaches? This is more dire than I surmised. But at least we have the means to combat them now. Our work here is not done. We must confront the console before anything can come to fruition regarding these schematics or the rift modulator.
You, here before me. Surprised you could outrun these new legs of mine. They're what everyone's going to be wearing next fall. Well, I'm here now. Where's the rift modulator? So Consul Thoreau has everything directly under his control. I'd say that's remarkably competent for the Protectorate, but he is the one who's been pulling their strings all along. Did you find anything else of note? Wait, what? But rifts are caused by skip drive travel. Human-piloted skip drive travel. How is that possible? You're the one in the dark. I'm simply musing aloud. Much as I'm intrigued by the significance of all this, there's no time to dwell on it now. We need to confront the Consul. You might be savvy enough to talk him down, but his type requires a deft touch. You'll need to break him down brick by brick. If you're too adversarial, he'll simply shut down. Certainly. The doubt you cultivate up front will make him more susceptible to what comes after. And in case you aren't quite as sharp as you appear, be ready to fight.
You may try to reason with the Consul, but I suspect it is a worthless effort. Traitors typically only realize their errors through force.
The more we debate, the more time we squander. We must resupply and shore up whatever defenses we have quickly. And if you've something to say to any of us, Commander, I suggest you say it while you have the chance. No telling what awaits us beyond that door.
Redactor Esmond. Very punctual, good. Don't take a seat, this will be quick. My sentinels tell me you have some interesting ideas. Oh, easy, no need to break into a sweat. Interesting ideas can be useful in the right hands. Especially now that our partnership with the Order has become fraught. We may need our own version of their pacifying doctrine.
Oh, so I do have a germ of an idea. A less grand version of the grand plan. Instead of atoms in
The Sovereign was a naive fool. The Consul was a scheming sprat with delusions of competence. Time will tell which was more.
Cogs in a machine. Interesting. A system where every subject believes they have a role to play. Enthusiastic obedience. Why, the Sovereign and I were thinking of this very thing. What should we call it?
Well, I'm not sure. It's still just a germ of a concept, of a hint of an idea, you see. It's a whole new way of thinking. A new model of society. Quite the paradigm shift.
Paradigm. Very good, Esmond. Say, you look frazzled, troubled by your own thoughts. Why don't you report to mental refreshment? My staff will personally see to your well-being.
It's more destructive.
Never would I ever have believed Auntie Cleo herself would walk through that door. But I haven't time to linger in the novelty. Sentinels, if you would.
Do I appear like someone afraid of a few guns? Give it up, Emery. You've lost this war. Have some dignity. You're coming off desperate.
On the contrary, this desperate action is what will save all of Arcadia and rid it forever of trespassers like you. Do not place his decision at my feet. I know it's difficult for the likes of you to fathom the concept of self-sacrifice, but he chose mental refreshment for the good of us all. And what am I to do but carry on his legacy? What am I to do but achieve what he could not? I'll only be killing a select number permanently. The worthy, however, will be resurrected and reformed so they may reach their full potential. Open your mind, Commander. Yes, I know well who you are. In any other situation, I might be compelled to take you apart and see how precisely it is you operate, but time, it would seem, isn't on your side. You are a relic of an impotent institution. propelled forward by nothing more than luck and foolhardy metal. Indeed. Rarely are there enough measures to keep the most tenacious of sprats from gnawing their way in. I've been following your progress closely, you know, since you so unceremoniously tampered with our Vox relay on Paradise Island. When you began your dealings with the Order and the Corporatists, I thought that perhaps having a chaotic element in their midst could work in our favor. But now you're here, scurrying around my ship and attempting to thwart the Protectorate yet again. For all your bluster, you seem more concerned with running your mouth than improving your performance in the field. Tell me, did you manage to stop us from bringing your peace talks to a swift end? As I recall, Greater Tranquility was reduced to little more than mangled ruins in a single moment.
You used the peace talks as a test run for this.
It was a modest success. I had hoped it'd hobble Auntie's choice in the Order once and for all, but it has proven to be a valuable lesson in patience. I was able to buy the time to enact the very plan before you. Though, judging from that vacant expression on your face, it would appear you've no idea what I intend. Very well. Once the rift destroys Arcadia, we shall edit the information stored within it and use the modulator to reshape our colony into its perfect form. Horizon Point's destruction all those years ago was a tragedy, yes, but without it, we might never have opened our eyes to our true purpose and the possibility of Arcadia's rebirth. When the Matriarch discovered the first skip drive, she set us on a course to elevate humanity. We're now writing our path, and I will do my part as the architect intended. Intrepid, aren't you? Well, what's relevant is what came after. Our Matriarch dissected this skip drive technology, learned its secrets, and enabled us to produce them en masse, which eventually led to the manifestation of rifts. But it was not until well after Horizon Point's untimely end that we understood the opportunity gifted us. The opportunity to reconstruct the colony in its perfect form. It is as the Grand Architect designed. And believe you me, I've no intention of letting you thwart our securing of a better future, one free of doubt and greed. No, it is the grand plan, and it is guiding humanity to its ascension. Everything exists for this purpose. Since you took your time scurrying about my ship, presumably rifling through our things, I assume you also found information about the far-off rifts in untraversed space. That alone should tell you that we don't make our own circumstances. It seems they were made by the ship our Matriarch found. A curiosity, isn't it? Without this discovery, we may never have realized the power we now possess with the rifts. Yes, the great architect works in mysterious ways. What else can I do but what is bidden? And yet, what is meant to be, will be. It matters not what path you tread, if the destination has been preordained. Now, as fascinating as your pseudo-intellectual musings have been to witness, I've reached my limit.
Beware, Commander. The Consul is a master manipulator. Trying to speak with him may be more dangerous than simply slaying him on the spot.
You're entirely out of your jurisdiction. And were I within reach, I would strike down this apostate dog myself. If you wish for me to entertain your argument, you will silence him.
If you've a plan, I trust you to see it through. But I shall keep a hand on my hammer throughout.
It's your time that's running out, not mine. So go on, tell me all the ways I'm wrong. Better yet, tell the whole room how His Eminence, the Sovereign, was wrong. This was originally his plan, after all. I am merely a partner seeing it carried out.
Do not presume to tell me what is or isn't the truth. I was advisor to the original Sovereign. I know the mind of a true leader. This is the path Henry should have taken.
Yes, of course we argued over methodology. Henry was always too stubborn, too focused on the past to understand the opportunity before him. I regret that he had to make such a difficult choice. That one of the Matriarch's heirs is not guiding us. But he needed to look beyond himself, like I am doing now. You just come and go as you please, do you? I ensured he would have a handler by his side if any assistance was needed. And I understand that it is, which is regrettable. But fulfilling the Architect's plan is worth the cost. Henry would agree. The people would agree. So you say. But you've yet to deliver any compelling evidence.
I doubt you've had anyone capable checking your calculations. You don't strike me as particularly thorough, or much of a heavy thinker.
I am the chosen shepherd of Arcadia and will not be spoken to like this. I am only doing what I must to restore this colony to what our matriarch envisioned. Free of war, strife, heresy. You must know that you have little chance of swaying me. I will not be distracted from taking what is owed to us. I will not be lectured by an outsider. It's just like the Earth Directorate, or any other interloper, to claim to better know the customs of those they invade. Certainly if you had your way, you would claim Arcadia as yours, and rewrite history to suit your own aims. Heresy!
I found her correspondence with the first bishop. She explicitly said she feared the Arcadian experiment would end as all similar projects did before it, in a crumbling heap of hubris.
The Matriarch foresaw many things. To think that we were not set apart from lesser societies, it is humbling. And it appears we have fallen prey to the very thing she warned of. What do you mean, steered wrongly? If Reuben was not carrying out her wishes as intended, then the Protectorate have strayed far from the Matriarch's light. But regardless of how I may have misstepped before, I am not in the wrong now. All your so-called arguments are pure hearsay.
You allow your resolve to be shaken when millions lie dead? If I had not traveled with the Commander, I would attempt to slay you on the spot. Instead, I shall appeal to any lingering remnant of your honor to do what is right.
Do not speak to me as though I must be punished. And you claimed so boldly that this plan of mine would fail. So, where is it? Where is your proof?
And leave the traitors and invaders alive? No! Death is the only way forward. We can only be made pure from the ashes, despite whatever supposed proof you have to the contrary. Claim? If you cannot see the truth of my devotion written plain, then now I see why you are against me so. But you are wrong about the risk. We are losing this war. It is inevitable. The victors will brutally subdue us until we become corrupted. Until we forget our principles, our history, the very core of who we are. It is better that we perish together as proud protectorate, proud Arcadians. Preserving our purity is a mercy. More than that, is it not love? Do you think I've found pleasure from the pain I've wrought? No! I've only done what I must. A child, a society, cannot grow into its potential without firm correction. I would die to see that the Protectorate's legacy would not be tarnished. Just as I would die for its promise to be fulfilled, and its subjects to live in peace. As are you.
Done. Amplification in progress. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Transmitter down over here. Energy transmitter out. Soak up the...
Sentry loose!
Have a fix on their weaknesses. Just within a herd of it. Go for torpification.
You must keep your blood within, Commander!
Seems all my considerable efforts here have been ill spent. Total rift destabilization is imminent. Our last resort is our only resort now. We need to fly the rift modulator in.
You don't have some dubious plan for this eventuality? I owe Niles 5 bits.
Brighten up, everyone. Not all of us need go, but someone present will need to take one for the team. Yes, when I said we, I didn't mean the royal we, you understand. The Order and I will use this and the processed rift data to mass-produce modulators that are usable at a distance. These pesky rifts will soon no longer plague the colonies.
I only ask everyone who leaves here today to remember my favorite number. Pi to the 1000th decimal.
Well now, I suppose this is goodbye, isn't it? I should say how I appreciate you helping me gain control of Arcadia, to promise you it will be a better place for all, and avoid tearing up about how this all fell to you.
So much for any pretext of honor. It would appear the responsibility of saving Arcadia falls to us.
No need to belabor this. I will fly the ship. Back on Greater Tranquility, you wish to give me a chance to atone for my mistakes. I'd say that opportunity has come.
Reckon I'll join you.
You needn't suffer for De Vries' misdeeds, Marisol. But if you are set on this path, then I shall respect you all the more for it.
One who chooses not to die needlessly. But if you are set on this, I would still join you. This is my mission too, and I'll not back down if there are others to carry out the rest.
Very well. I see the deed is in competent hands. No rational reason for all of us to perish. I'll ensure the rest of humanity is saved, as we'd like.
What are you waiting for? The module's right there.
And in the end, the commanders sacrificed themselves to save the galaxy. No one knew their motives or thoughts in those final moments, though legends grew around this mythical agent of the Earth Directorate all the same. Augustine de Vries went along, knowing nothing would make up for her actions. But at least she'd not have to live with her guilt any longer. Thanks to the commander's quick thinking in sparing it from the Vox station's fiery crash, Paradise Island's Fairfield remained a profitable company town for Auntie's Choice. For his outside-the-box thinking and innovative propaganda techniques, D.B. Milverstreet was promoted, while rival Officer Carr seethed at her lack of upward mobility, or even bronze-tier executive benefits. Vigilant Hogarth, now acclimated to Fairfield, leaned on the Protectorate ideals of neighborliness, while overlooking all the authoritarian tactics, so he might help the Order to succeed with the equation. Auntie's Choice assumed control over the day-to-day workings of Matriarch's Mercy, the better to monitor their new colleagues in the Order. The monastery, however, returned to normal operation, tracking the clockwork of the grand plan. The monastery's abbot became a scapegoat for recent tragic events, having not detected Wiley's dastardly schemes. His superiors demoted him, mainly to show their corporatist allies that academics could keep their people in line too. Seer Wiley fled the Order and sought refuge in a backwater Arcadian town to contemplate his failings. As word of the ex-seer's arrival spread, people lined up for predictions. Forsaking the math that failed him, he offered obvious yet effective advice instead. Val continued to serve the Earth Directorate faithfully for many more years than should be possible, giving automechs like her everywhere a reputation as stable and reliable. As a result, more Valerie units were put into service, while fewer human agents were deployed into the field. As he rose through the Earth Directorate ranks, Niles pressed for a field directive to deploy the new Val units only when the situation posed significant risk. The policy reduced agent casualties by a significant margin. Oddly enough, in-office deaths increased by a not insignificant margin. Inez's convincing appeals to the press earned her clout in reforming Auntie's Choice's cruel grafting program. Yet it was a constant struggle, rife with red tape and pushback from program executives. This was Inez's new battle, one she would fight for the rest of her life. Utilizing what he learned alongside the commander, Tristan attempted to reform Protectorate society from within. But with no authority figure to lead its subjects, the Protectorate was a shell of its former self. After thoughtful cogitation and calculation, Marisol slowly began to reject violence as the sole method for eliminating random variables. Not coincidentally, her social calendar began filling up. Asa finally achieved her dream of dying in a rift. All it took was a daring and blood-soaked heist of a modulator to create a rift that she then summarily leapt into. Thus Asa remained a fanatical member of the Glorious Dawn, spreading the truth of the rifts to her final agonized breath. With the modulator schematics shared as joint intellectual property, Auntie's Choice and the Order's partnership remained steady, despite the need for constant compromise. For a time, the Arcadia colony thrived. Auntie Cleo went through the motions of accommodating the Order, yet privately aspired to keep free trade anything but free. She began a new initiative. Any corporation or government that refused her trade conditions was promptly dealt with, either via takeover or strategic use of rifts. Auntie made her first public appearance in years, inspiring a fashion trend in bubble helmets. In no time at all, she won more public support than Ruth, which she sought to use as leverage when the time was right. Unable to acquire the chemicals needed for the process, Ruth Bassar nevertheless attempted to interface with the archive and died immediately. Her successor banned any future interfacing attempts and led the Order in a much more cautious direction, delaying their progress for at least a century. Adrift without firm leadership, Protectorate subjects struggled with post-war life. A small band of hardliners collaborated to preserve their society in the face of Arcadia's new leadership. When Sovereign Varric was discovered in mental refreshment, the Order and Auntie's Choice bickered over what to do with him. They ultimately decided to announce his death, while letting him live the rest of his addled days behind closed doors aboard the undisputed claim. Until one day, Amos stumbled upon the Sovereign's private quarters and freed him, rocking the colony with a brief scandal. Despite the recent tumultuous events in Arcadia, it was business as usual for Free Market Station. Sub Rosa continued to supply the colony in the wake of the Commander's actions. Unable to die in their sacred rift after it was closed, the Glorious Dawn heeded a new calling, seeking the modulators needed to create new rifts, so that they could die in those instead. The dangerous experimental research of Marisol's contact from Point Obviation lived on, with a Seer predicted 11.9% probability of yielding a universe-ending catastrophe. Meanwhile, an entrepreneurial work group of chemistricians unveiled a new flavor of Purple Berry Crunch. The rift compromise between the Order and Auntie's Choice led to prioritized assistance for the colonies that agreed to favorable trading terms. The so-called Auntie's Loyalty Program tripled the corporation's net worth. Meanwhile, the Order was able to sermonize their version of scientism alongside Auntie's marketing and PR onslaught, at least to colonies in Auntie's Loyalty Program. Many outside died because their rifts weren't closed in time. All of these events turned on the decisive actions of the Earth Directorate agent and their unique way of navigating Arcadia, its disparate factions, social complexities, ubiquitous product placement, and arsenal of absurdly satisfying weaponry. But through it all, and to this day, Earth has remained inexplicably dark.